The door shudders under his fist, and I know our hiding is over. The white wolf stands between me and the splintering wood, hackles raised, amber eyes blazing in the half-light of the den. I press my children behind me. They are 5 years old, red-haired like me, silent as I taught them to be when danger comes. The boy grips my skirt. The girl clutches her brother's hand. They do not cry. They learned early that tears are a luxury we cannot afford. Another blow. The hinges groan. Dust falls from the ceiling beams, and I smell snow and pine and something else. Something I have not let myself remember in 5 winters. Cedar wood and smoke. The scent of him. The wolf growls low, a sound like thunder trapped in a chest. He has been with us since the first winter, appearing out of a blizzard when I thought we would freeze. I never named him. He did not need a name. He was survival. He was the only thing standing between my children and the cold, the hunger, the wolves that were not white and did not have mercy in their eyes. I hear voices outside. Men. Soldiers, perhaps. The King's Guard. My heart is a stone in my throat. It was autumn when I fled. I remember because the leaves were the color of my hair, and I thought, as I ran, that I was bleeding into the world. I was 2 months pregnant, sick every morning, dizzy with fear and the weight of what I had overheard in the corridors of the palace. Her voice, smooth as poison, the king's cousin, whispering to the High Council. She carries a bastard. Everyone knows. The child is not his. We must act before he discovers the truth. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run to him, to tell him it was a lie, that the twins I carried were his and his alone. But I had no proof. Only my word against hers, and she had the ear of the council, the trust of the court. I was Omega. He was Alpha King. In the palace, that meant I was nothing but a vessel, and vessels can be discarded. So I ran. The third blow lands. The door cracks down the middle, a jagged split that lets in light and cold air. Through the gap, I see shadows moving. Boots on frozen ground. The metallic whisper of drawn swords. The children are shaking now. I pull them tighter, my hands in their red hair, their small bodies pressed against my legs. The wolf shifts his weight, muscles coiled beneath white fur. He is ready to die for us. I have always known this. From the first night he appeared, when I was huddled with the newborn twins against my chest, starving and freezing and certain we would not see morning, he has been ours, our guardian, our ghost in the snow. Another memory rises, unbidden. The night I gave birth. Alone in this den, screaming into rags I stuffed in my mouth so no one would hear. The pain was endless, tearing me apart from the inside. I thought I would die. I wanted to die. And then the boy slid into my shaking hands, slick and silent. And I wept because he was so small, so impossibly fragile. The girl came an hour later, smaller still, and I wrapped them both in the one blanket I had stolen from the palace and prayed to gods I did not believe in that they would survive the night. That was when the wolf came. I heard him first, paws crunching through snow outside the den. I was too weak to be afraid. I thought, let him eat us. At least it will be quick. But he did not eat us. He curled his body around mine, around the twins, and his warmth was the only thing that kept us alive until dawn. The door explodes inward. He stands in the threshold, haloed by snow and winter light. Golden hair, blue eyes like the sky before a storm. He is exactly as I remember, and nothing like I remember. Older, harder. There is ash on his boots and fury in the set of his jaw. He has come to destroy us. The wolf leaps. He catches the wolf mid-air, hands gripping white fur, and they go down together in a tangle of limbs and snarls. I scream. The children scream. Men pour in behind him, soldiers in gray cloaks, swords drawn, and I am pulling my son and daughter back, into the corner where we sleep on furs and thin blankets, where we have lived like animals because it was the only way to survive. Stop, someone shouts. The king's voice. Stop. The wolf releases him, steps back, Blood on white fur, blood on the king's hands. I cannot tell whose. The king rises slowly, breathing hard, eyes locked on the wolf. Then, slowly, his gaze shifts. To me, I see the moment he recognizes me. It is like watching ice crack on a river. His face goes white, his lips part. He says my name, and it is a question and a wound and a prayer, all at once. I cannot speak. I am shaking. The children are crying now, clinging to me, and I want to tell them it will be all right. But I do not know if that is true. I do not know what happens next. He takes a step forward. The wolf growls. He stops. "You are alive," he says. His voice breaks on the last word, and I realize he is weeping. The Alpha King, who I watched sentence men to death without flinching, who led armies and crushed rebellions, is weeping in the ruins of my door. "I thought you were dead," he says. "They told me you ran into the woods. We searched for weeks, months. I thought the cold had taken you. I thought—" He stops. His eyes drop to the children. Red hair, small faces, pale and wide-eyed. The boy has his blue eyes. The girl has my nose, my mouth, but his chin, his brow. I watch him understand. "No," he breathes. I find my voice. It is rusted, rough from disuse. We do not speak much here. The children and I communicate in gestures, in glances. Words are for stories at night, whispered close to the fire. "You came to destroy the den," I say. "You did not know we were here." He shakes his head, still staring at the children. His hands are trembling. "I was told renegades were hiding here. Deserters. Criminals. I was told to burn it to the ground." He sinks to his knees. The soldiers behind him shift, uncertain. One of them steps forward, an older man with a scar across his temple. "My lord," he says quietly. The king does not look at him. He looks at me, at the twins, at the den, the broken furniture, the meager stores of grain and dried meat that took me months to gather, at the white wolf, still standing guard, blood drying on his muzzle. "Why?" he says. "Why did you run?" I close my eyes. The memories come like a flood. I remember the last time I saw him, the morning before I fled. He was sitting at the council table, golden head bent over maps and reports. I stood in the doorway, my hand on my still flat belly, wanting to tell him about the pregnancy. But his cousin was there, pouring wine, whispering in his ear. And when she looked at me, her eyes were full of something cold and satisfied. I knew then that she had won, that whatever poison she had been dripping into the court had taken root. I turned and walked away, and he never looked up. "I was afraid," I say, opening my eyes. "I overheard your cousin. She was telling the council the children were not yours. She said you had cast me out, that I was carrying another man's bastard. I had no proof, no allies. I was alone. I was there, I want to say. I was your wife, but you were surrounded by people who wanted me gone, and I did not know if you would choose me or them." I open my eyes. He is staring at me, and there is something terrible in his face. "My cousin," he repeats. I nod. "She disappeared 3 months after you did," he says slowly. "Fled in the night. We found letters in her chambers, proof she had been plotting against me, against us. She wanted the throne. She wanted you gone so she could step into your place." My breath catches. "I would have believed you," he says, and his voice is raw. "If you had come to me, if you had told me, I would have believed you." I shake my head. "You do not know that." "I do." He rises slowly, as if his legs will not hold him. "I tore the kingdom apart looking for you. I executed anyone who might have been involved in your disappearance. I thought you were taken, murdered. I never imagined you would run from me. Because I was afraid of you," I whisper. The words hang between us. The soldiers are silent. The wolf lowers his head, watching. The king takes another step. The wolf does not growl this time. "I am sorry," he says. "I am sorry you were afraid. I am sorry I did not make you feel safe. I am sorry I failed you. Tears are running down my face now. The children are quiet, pressed against my sides, watching their father with huge, solemn eyes. He kneels again, not in defeat, in supplication. He looks at the children. I am your father, he says softly. I did not know you existed until this moment. But I swear to you, I will spend the rest of my life making up for the years I lost. The boy looks up at me. Can we trust him, Mama? I do not know how to answer. I have spent 5 years teaching them to trust no one but each other, no one but the wolf. I have built our survival on secrecy and silence. And now the king is here, the man I fled from, the man I loved, the man I thought would destroy me. But he is weeping for his children. He is kneeling in the dirt and ash of our den, and he is asking for forgiveness. I look at the wolf. The wolf looks back. His amber eyes are calm now. He sits. It is the first time I have seen him sit in the presence of a stranger. I think, I say slowly, that we can try. The king's face crumples. He bows his head, and his shoulders shake with silent sobs. The old soldier steps forward, kneels beside him, puts a hand on his shoulder. My lord, he says gently, we should return to the palace. The weather is turning. The king looks up at me. Will you come? I hesitate. The den is all we have known. It is safety, even if it is cold and cramped and hard. The palace is beautiful and warm and full of people who wanted me gone. You will be safe, he says, reading my fear. I swear it. Anyone who threatens you or the children will answer to me. You will want for nothing. You will be protected. What about him? I nod to the wolf. The wolf comes, the king says without hesitation. He protected you when I could not. He is Pack. The wolf's ears prick forward. I reach out, touch his head. He leans into my hand. All right, I say. The king stands. He holds out his hand. I stare at it. 5 years ago, I held that hand in mine and promised to stand beside him. 5 years ago, I broke that promise and ran. But I was not the only one who broke something. I take his hand. His fingers close around mine, warm and strong. And for the first time in 5 years, I am not cold. The children stand. The girl reaches for the king's other hand. He looks down at her, and fresh tears spill over. She smiles, gap-toothed and shy. What are your names? He asks. The boy answers. I am Kale. She is Lyra. Kale. Lyra. He repeats the names like a vow. I will remember. I will never forget. We gather what little we have. Furs, blankets, the children's wooden toys, carved by my hands during long winter nights when sleep would not come, and I needed something to do with the fear that ate at me. A few pieces of clothing, threadbare and patched, a knife, a pot. The king watches, silent, and I see him taking in the poverty of our life. The lack, the struggle. I see the way his jaw tightens when Kale picks up a doll made of straw and holds it like it is treasure. Is this all? The king asks quietly. This is everything, I say. He nods once, sharply, and I see rage flicker in his eyes. Not at me, at the world that forced us here, at himself for not finding us sooner. Outside, the snow is falling thick and soft. The soldiers have horses. The king lifts Kale onto his saddle, then Lyra. They sit together, clutching the pommel, eyes wide with wonder. They have never ridden a horse. They have never been more than a mile from the den. I mount behind them. The king mounts behind me, his arms around us all, holding the reins. The wolf walks beside us, a pale shadow against the snow. We leave the den behind. I do not look back. It saved us, but it was never home. It was survival. Home is something else. The journey to the palace takes 2 days. We stop at an inn the first night, and the innkeeper's wife brings us stew and bread and milk. The children stare at the food like it might vanish. They eat slowly, carefully, and I realize they are saving some for later, the way I taught them. There is always later. There is always hunger coming, You do not need to save it, the king says gently. There will be more tomorrow. Kyle looks at me. I nod. It is true, I say, though I am not sure I believe it myself. They finish their bowls. The innkeeper's wife brings more, and they eat until their bellies are round and tight. Then they fall asleep at the table, heads pillowed on their arms, and the king carries them upstairs one at a time, gentle as if they are made of glass. That night, the children sleep in a real bed for the first time in their lives. I watch them burrow into the blankets, their red hair fanned across the pillows, and I want to weep. The king sits beside me. We do not speak much. There is too much to say, and words feel fragile, insufficient. But he takes my hand in the dark, and I let him. I dream that night, not of the den, but of the palace. I am walking through the halls, and everyone is staring, whispering. The king's cousin is there, smiling her poisonous smile, and I try to run, but my legs will not move. I wait gasping, and the king is there, his hand on my shoulder. You are safe, he says. I am here. I believe him, or I want to. It is a start. On the second day, we crest the hill and see the palace. White stone and high towers, banners snapping in the wind. The children gasp. I remember the first time I saw it years ago, when I came as a bride. I thought it was beautiful. Then I learned that beauty could be a cage. It will be different this time, the king says quietly. I promise. I want to believe him. We enter through the main gates. People stop and stare. Whispers ripple through the courtyard like wind through grass. The Omega. She is alive. And children. Twins. Look at their hair. Look at the king's face. The king ignores them all. He lifts Kale and Lyra down from the saddle, takes my hand, and walks with us into the palace. The wolf follows. A woman in servant's gray tries to block him. The king gives her one look, and she steps aside. The children are given chambers next to ours. They have never had their own rooms. They stand in the center of the space, turning in slow circles, staring at the tapestries, the fireplace, the wide windows that look out over the gardens. There are toys on the shelves, dolls and wooden horses and painted blocks. The king must have sent someone ahead to prepare. Is this real? Lyra whispers. It is real, the king says. This is your home now. Kale looks at him. Will you stay? I will stay as long as you want me. Kale considers this, then nods. You can stay. The king smiles. It is the first real smile I have seen from him since the den. That night, we eat together in the private dining hall. A feast, though the children do not know what to make of the rich food. Roasted meat and honeyed vegetables and fruit piled high. They eat bread and cheese and apples, cautious, as if it might be taken away. The wolf lies by the fire, watching. A servant tries to remove him, and Lyra bursts into tears. He stays, the king says, and the servant bows and leaves. After the meal, I bathe the children in a great copper tub filled with hot water. They splash and laugh, and I realize I have never heard them laugh so freely. In the den, laughter was always hushed, always careful. Here, it echoes off the stone walls, bright and unafraid. When they are clean and dressed in soft night clothes that the king provided, I tuck them into the great bed. They look so small in it, 2 little sparks of red against white linen. Tell us a story, Mama, Lyra says. I tell them the one I always tell, about a girl who ran into the woods and found a wolf made of snow, and how the wolf kept her safe through the long winter. It is our story, but I tell it like a fairy tale, and they listen with sleepy eyes. When they are asleep, I return to my own chambers. The king is waiting. He has built up the fire, and the room is warm, golden with light. The wolf is already stretched out on the hearth. I do not expect you to forgive me, I say. He shakes his head. There is nothing to forgive. You did what you thought you had to do to protect our children. I am the one who failed. I should have made you feel safe enough to stay. We were both afraid, I say. You of betrayal. Me of being cast out. He reaches for my hand. I am not afraid anymore. Neither am I. It is not entirely true. There is still fear, small and hard, lodged somewhere in my chest. But it is less than it was. And maybe that is enough for now. He leans forward, and I let him kiss me. It is soft, careful, a question. I kiss him back. An answer. The wolf sighs and closes his eyes. The days turn into weeks. The children grow bolder, louder. They run through the palace halls, and the servants smile at them. They are heirs, and everyone knows it now. Red-haired and blue-eyed, proof of our union, proof of what survived. The king teaches Kale to ride. I watch from the gardens as my son sits astride a pony, his small hands gripping the reins, his face alight with joy. The king walks beside him, one hand on the pony's bridle, patient and steady. When Kale falls, the king catches him, sets him back in the saddle, tells him to try again. My son does not cry. He tries again. I teach Lyra to read. We sit together in the library, surrounded by books, and I sound out words while she traces the letters with her finger. She is quick, clever, hungry for knowledge. She wants to know everything. Why is the sky blue? Where do wolves come from? What is beyond the mountains? I answer as best I can, and when I do not know, we look for the answer together. We eat together every night. The four of us and the wolf, who has claimed a permanent spot by the fire. The children chatter about their days, and the king listens, rapt, as if every word they speak is gold. Sometimes I catch him watching me, and there is something in his eyes that makes my breath catch. Regret, longing, love. We are rebuilding. It is slow work. One night, after the children are asleep, the king and I walk through the gardens. The moon is full, casting silver light over the hedges and fountains. The air smells of roses and earth. I used to walk here, I say, when I lived here before. I would come out at night when I could not sleep. I did the same, he says. After you disappeared, I would walk and hope that somehow you would find your way back. We stop by the fountain. The water whispers, a soft sound in the dark. I am sorry, I say, for leaving, for not trusting you enough to stay. I am sorry, he says, for not giving you reason to trust. We stand there, close but not touching, and I feel the years between us, the pain, the loss, but I also feel the possibility of something new, something stronger than what we had before, because it has been tested and broken and put back together. He takes my hand. I let him. The weeks turn into months. Spring comes. The snow melts. The gardens bloom. The children play in the sunshine, their laughter ringing through the courtyard. The wolf chases them, gentle, careful not to knock them down. He is getting older, I think. There is gray in his muzzle now. But he is still theirs, still ours. I stand at the window one morning, watching, and the king comes up behind me. He wraps his arms around my waist, rests his chin on my shoulder. Are you happy? He asks. I think about the den, the cold, the fear, the years of hiding. Then I think about this, the warmth, the safety, the family we are becoming. I am, I say. He kisses my temple. Good. The wolf looks up at us from the garden. The children are tangled in his fur, giggling. He does not seem to mind. I think he is happy too, the king says. I think you are right. That night I go to the children's room to check on them before bed. They are already asleep, curled together like puppies. I smooth Lyra's hair, tuck the blanket around Kale's shoulders. They stir but do not wake. The king is waiting in our chambers. He has poured wine, and we sit by the fire, the wolf between us. I have been thinking, he says. About what? About the future. About what comes next. I wait. I want to make you queen, he says. Properly. A ceremony. In front of the whole court. I want everyone to know that you are mine, and I am yours, and nothing will ever come between us again. I do not need a ceremony, I say. I know, but I need it. I need to stand in front of the kingdom and claim you. I need them to see what I almost lost. I look at him. His blue eyes are serious, intent. All right, I say. The ceremony is held on the first day of summer. The great hall is filled with nobles and soldiers and common folk who have come to see the Omega Queen and her red-haired heirs. I wear a gown of deep green, the color of the forest that hid me. The children stand beside me, solemn and proud in their finest clothes. The wolf is not allowed in the hall, but I can see him through the window, waiting in the courtyard. The king takes my hand and speaks the vows. I speak them back. The words are the same as they were the first time, but they mean something different now. They are not a promise of what might be. They are a testament to what survived. When it is done, the hall erupts in applause. The children beam. The king kisses me, and I taste salt. I do not know if it is his tears or mine. That night, there is a feast. Music and dancing and toasts to the queen and the heirs. I dance with the king, and then with Kyle, who steps on my feet and laughs, and then with Lyra, who is light as air in my arms. The wolf watches from the courtyard, his amber eyes glowing in the torchlight. When the feast is over and the guests have gone, we return to our chambers. The children are asleep before their heads hit the pillows. I tuck them in, kiss their foreheads, and return to the king. He is standing by the window looking out at the night. "Thank you," he says, "for giving me another chance." "Thank you," I say, "for not giving up." He turns, pulls me into his arms. We stand there holding each other, and I feel the weight of what we have been through. The pain, the fear, the grief. But I also feel the strength of what we have built. A family, a future. The wolf pads into the room and settles by the fire. He yawns, showing sharp white teeth, and then closes his eyes. We do not speak of what was lost, the years we missed, the pain we caused each other. It is behind us now, buried like the den beneath the snow. What matters is this: the children, the wolf, the man who holds me like I am precious, the life we are building from the ashes of what almost was. It is not perfect, but it is ours, and it is enough.